So here I am recording myself. You won't believe how many times I tried to do this earlier today by setting up the tripod and being professional, looking at the camera, and I kept restarting it. So my husband just told me, stop thinking about it and just do it. So the reason why I wanted to get on was to share my experience with me starting my online digital marketing journey. So, for many years, I have been seeing this plastered all on social media, different people, podcasts, having guests. Guest visitors come and go and sharing their experience and how they went from 0 to 6 figures, 7 figures, and all of that, right? However, I don't know, my mind wasn't grasping the information, right? What was out there. I did hear them say these courses and things. However, I just don't think that I was ready for that yet. So fast forward to now, 2024. I can say that I finally have made the plunge, and I now am starting my journey with digital marketing. So to share a backstory of, I guess, visions that I had, I just recently shared on my TikTok video about, you know, a vision without a plan is just a dream. And I think I've heard this on a podcast like years ago. And so it made me think. I think there are a lot of people who, have visions of, what they want their life to be. Wanting to be financially free, house paid off, possibly living on a compound with their family members, being able to, just pay cash for things and travel and not worry, be a lender and not a borrower, or when you do lend, you're giving, not looking for it in return. And so one Saturday, I'm laying in bed, and that week I probably had like 3 family members reach out to borrow money. And it's not that I don't want to do it, but it's like I have, but not to give. And them having to pay me back, I know can sometimes be a reach, because I remember being in that situation where I may borrow money from someone, and when it's time to pay them back, it's like, dang, I really don't have it to pay them back, but I know I owe them this. So in that mindset, I'm like, Lord, someone asks, just give. So I was talking to my husband about just wanting more out of life, and you've been hearing about this passive income, which again, going back to those videos that I talked to you about with learning about digital marketing. Okay, so fast forward, I'm watching this girl on live on her TikTok, and she was breaking it down so that I can understand it, or I was just at a time and place where it was comprehending for me. So listening to her talk about, how it works, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm interested. However, I just could not make the move to buy her. I guess it was a course that she was selling. I'm not for sure. And I'm like, nope. I think I hear her. What she's saying is good, but I'm just not ready to make the next move. And so I started following her, right? So told my husband about it again, and the next day come about, and I'm sitting on my porch in the morning drinking my coffee, and turn put TikTok on, run across a girl, another woman who is talking about digital marketing. And I guess the way that she was sharing her journey and her story with this community that she's a part of, it made me want to invest. And so I made the plunge and I invested. And the crazy thing is, I invested way more than what the other girl was, I guess, sharing at her fee. Um, and so, but I don't know, it was something about this one particular person. Um, she explained it well too. Um, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I just chose her, and I made the plunge. I invested. So now that leads me to um, now having to make a move because I actually used my credit card to do so. Now I'm like, oh my lord, what have I done? you know. So I'm like, all right, Sarah, it's time for you to put your mouth, your money where your mouth is, whatever the saying is. So that really put me into gear of moving forward. So immediately, I grabbed my laptop, but you can also use your phone. But anyway, I immediately grabbed my laptop and I started going through the courses and joined the community. The community is called Digital Growth Community. And with the courses, it is actually a step-by-step guide where it's showing you how to set up your web page. There's this system that is used for you to start funneling your website through. And like everything is like pretty much done for you. It's just a blueprint. You're just basically deleting things and inputting your information, but everything is connected with the website that you just now set up. Now, depending on what level or investment that you did with the courses, um, is what you have the master rights to resell. So me, I chose the highest one, which gives me 4 streams of income, meaning not only can I sell, well, basically, yeah, I'm able to resell the 4 courses, and it's as low as $100. So if you come in at 100, um, if you just say you invest at $100, then you have the master resale rights to resell that $100 course. Now, when I told my husband about this, the first thing came to mind was the MLM, the pyramid scheme. And I'm like, it's not that. You have the master resale rights to sell that course. He said, okay, well, you just bought a course to resell it. And I'm like, yeah, yeah. However, it's more than that. It's for people who are ready to make that next move to start their online business because there's so much information there for you. Especially me, I have never ever owned a business. Now, my mom have dibbled and dabbled with different businesses. When I was younger, having her own cleaning business, and I think I remember her already leasing a building to have her own boutique. I remember going to New York to do a book sale. Um, However, she just never went far with it. Um, so, with that being said, again, going back to me, I have never owned a business. I don't even think I have ever had a desire to own my own business. However, what I have envisioned in my mind of wanting more for me and my family and wanting that to be financially free. And like I stated earlier, when I heard that statement, a vision without a plan is just a dream. So me knowing that, Sarah, you got to start making moves, right? And so that's what basically what I'm doing. Okay. Um, I'm a person who is very shy, like to the point where I remember, I shared the story on my TikTok when I was younger, being in school. I did not like to even, how your parents used to drop you off, um, if you didn't ride the bus, but if you was like a carpool or parent pickup, you got out the car. And at my school, all the kids used to be standing outside of the school before we went in, and it was just like on some steps. So everybody's looking at you getting out the car. And I remember I used to hate that because all eyes was on me. Like any attention that is directed towards me, I didn't like it. I remember making my seventh grade basketball team, and I was pretty good. And I really wanted to play. I remember, my dad bought me a basketball goal for Christmas that year, and I was ready to try out for the team. I tried out, I made it, and I'm from Alabama, actually Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And I remember our PE teacher, she was a former basketball player at University of Alabama. So I made the team, and I think I really made it because of my speed. But I remember too, I used to play street ball with the boys in the neighborhood, but I wasn't that skilled, but I think, I had some skills. But anyway, I made the team. Um, when it came down to it, I quit because I was too shy to play in front of people. I remember her name was Coach Coots. Coach Coots she was disappointed. She was like, "Why in the world did you quit?" However, I couldn't tell her I was too shy. I was like, I don't even know what reason I gave her. But anyway, with that being stated, going back to me being fearful, I also have done everything by doing it afraid. And so that's what I have to, like, I have to psych myself, like, Sarah, just do it. You know, once you get on the other side, you're going to see it's not as, hard as you thought it was. Um, so that's what I did. I said, you know what? You got to do it. So with that being said, one portion of the training that you receive is talking about discovery, and it's talking about branding yourself. And one of the things is, in order for you to build potential customers, you have to get on social media, which is what I'm doing now, right? And so I already had a TikTok, I already had some followers, and I think that was like off like the black girl trained or whatever it was. I think I just did it. And I just had that one video. So with that lot, I had about, I don't know, about 500 some followers. So I just used that one, right? I just jumped in. I'm like, yep. And then found out that I need a business account. So then I had to change that to a business account. Then to find out the other, tips and tricks that they were teaching about social media, I really should have started at zero. But anyway, I said, you know what? It is what it is. I'm using this account. I switched it to business account. Um, I can say that my followers have grown to 700. But the thing about going back, talking about the value of this community, again, it's called Digital Growth Community. Michelle O'Neill is the instructor or the creator of this community, and she's awesome. She does daily webinars to just motivate you, which is the reason why I wanted to start creating content about my journey, because there are days that I am not motivated. I am too much in my head. Um, I start downing myself. Past trauma comes up, and I'm talking about me having to go to speech therapy when I was younger. Um, Me worrying about what others are thinking. But it also made me think about all the the quotes that I have saved in my phone that I write on a chalkboard downstairs for my daughter. I have a teenage daughter who, teenagers, they're always trying to be perfect or trying to fit in. And so, I always write a quote up to help her, figure life out and go through life. So I'm finding that I'm having to take my own advice with the quotes that I'm telling her. And so one of the quotes that I have on my board right now, it states that your life isn't yours if you are worried about what others think about you. And I think it's the other way around. But I heard that quote from, I want to say his name is Jay Copeland. He has a podcast, and I ran across him here on YouTube. I think he used to be a former NFL player in sports or something, but don't make me lie. But his podcast is really good, and he does a lot of motivational speaking, and he also have a lot of guests on there that gives great advice. But going back to myself, um, I had to tell myself, Sarah, you got to stop worrying about what others are thinking about you, because people are going to have their opinions. And then going back to this digital growth community, Michelle, she always shares that when you're trying to build your potential customers, um, it's not about how many views that you get. And I think I was getting caught up on that, right? I was getting caught up on going to my profile, seeing how many views did I get, but then I open it up and see that nobody is liking the video. And so with that, I start self-doubting and like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? So with that, um, she stated that it's not about the views that you get. It's not about, I can't recall if she said it's not about the likes, but I do recall her saying it's about the engagement, right? You want that engagement. You want people to be engaged, and you want them to start commenting so that can push out your video more. So then I stopped. I told myself, Sarah, you make the video, you post it, don't watch it. And another thing that I was doing was I was going back watching myself and didn't like how I sounded. Didn't Then I started listening to how I was pronouncing words, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you sound so stupid. So I just had to stop doing that. I just said, Sarah, post a video, and that's it. Um, and that worked. So the only thing that I do, I go to see if people are commenting to want to see their, I guess, potential customers, which I don't have any yet. However, I'm still believing, right? I gave the analogy on my TikTok one day about not pushing on when there's no evidence of prosperity. I'm on this fitness journey as well, and so I was sharing that every day I will wake up and I will either get on the scale, um, or lift my shirt up to look at my belly, because my main concern is having that, I guess, postpartum fatness. Yes, I have one child and she's about to be 17, so 17 years of postpartum body. But it's just it's not a big belly, it's a small belly. My husband was telling me, oh my gosh, Sarah, you look fine, but I have a certain way that I want to look. But anyway, um, I seen this analogy. I ran across a video on TikTok. The guy was saying that, if you are doing what you're supposed to do on your journey, right? And I'm using fitness because I'm on this fitness kicker. Um, and you're working out, you're in a calorie deficit, you're doing your 10,000 steps, and you still don't see anything, just know that something is happening. And he talked about a toilet tissue roll, having a full toilet tissue roll. He said, now when you go in the bathroom, you know that you're using toilet tissue. You may take one piece, three pieces, however many pieces it takes for you to clean yourself. But anyway, he said, now mentally, you know that the toilet tissue roll is getting smaller. However, if you're looking at it, it kind of still looks the same, right? He said, but it's not until that you have used up the entire roll is where you will see the outcome. So he said, going back to your fitness journey, know that what you're doing every day is making an impact. You may not be able to see that yet. however it's going to come. And so by me saying that, I had to mentally tell myself, Sarah, first of all, I just started this journey August the 4th. And I was already trying to give up 3 days in because I didn't have all these views and I didn't have a customer, right? But two, I think a lot of people, we see what others are sharing when they say, oh my gosh, I went from 0 to 10,000, 5,000, however much they made. And here I am just now making what, 2 weeks or so, and a couple of and some change. And I'm expecting this grand thing. And then one thing too that Michelle has shared on one of her webinars is when the time comes, it's going to come. Stop trying to rush it. We live in a society now where we are expecting instant gratification. And sometimes it's just about being patient, right? And then two, I want to share about the value of this digital growth community is I talked about, the courses that you receive, all the trainings, the daily encouragement. Like, I can't even explain the encouragement that you receive, whether it's from people within the community or Michelle herself. Like, there is always a spotlight of a person that she has that's just sharing their journey, sharing how they got to where they've gotten. And I like it because it's people who are just like you. There are moms, there are people who are way older than me. So one thing that I keep hearing or seeing in these comments in the community is people are like very shy and they're nervous to get out in front of the camera, right? I've seen something today that talked about how your mind can sabotage your growth. And the reason why, because I'm including myself, we're too shy, we're afraid to get in front of the camera to make content, is because we are worried about what others are thinking about us. Do we sound dumb? How do we look? Yeah, so this is just me wanting to record my journey in case somebody else out there is looking to, start, digital marketing, because this is $1 billion, I don't even know the word. I mean, basically, there's a lot of money to be made. It's enough for everybody. And we are looking at our moneymaker every day. We're holding a phone. We're on the computers. We're on laptops. We're on tablets every day, scrolling, looking at other people's lives and how they're making it, how they're having financial freedom, how they're having these compounds with their families, how they're enjoying these vacations. Now, I do know that there are a lot of people who lie, right? They put up fronts. But I'm talking about the true people who are really out there making moves. And you too can do the same. Comment down below. Like, share, subscribe. See you next time.